Charlie and I are moving around some random spots in New England here. At the beginning, you saw that was Flushing Meadows Corona Park in Queens, in New York City, which we'll head to here shortly. But we're going to start out here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. This right here, I think it's an experimental thing. It was called the Ghost. This is Submarine Park. The USS Albacore, which we'll show in just a second, is kind of the focal point of Submarine Park. But this, whatever this kind of marine craft was, it looked real cool too. But the Albacore was a experimental submarine. It was like the first one that the U.S. developed with the modern shape, that teardrop shape. Sometimes they call the Albacore design, I believe. But it's on display here. It was launched in the 50s. I think 1953 is when the Albacore was launched, and it went through a lot of different research and experimental tests just to test new submarine developments throughout the years. It was finally decommissioned, retired, and put on display here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, back in the 80s. I think it was struck from the Naval Register in 1980 and put on display, I think, around 1985, 1986. It's right here. You can tour it. It's a real cool submarine just to check out. So we're going to head on from here to Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. Check out the Rhode Island State House here. Get another Capitol building marked off the list. I'm not sure how many we've been to. Definitely not all of them, but this will knock another one off the list for us. This one was built in the 1890s. I think it was finished up in 1901. One cool thing about this one is it was used for the U.S. Capitol building in the Steven Spielberg movie Amistad. Came out in late 90s, 97 I think. But they actually, instead of using the real U.S. Capitol building, they used this for the Capitol building in the U.S. Capitol in that movie. Tough to make it out from down here on the ground, but at the dome here, at the top of the dome, one of the cool, more unique things about this one is there's a statue up there. It's called the Independent Man. It was a little, I guess, maybe slightly controversial when it was first put up there, but it's been accepted over the years. It's been there ever since the building was created. The building was first built. It was taken down at one point in the 70s for repair. It's a gold statue. They recovered it in new gold leaf, I think in 1975. But otherwise, he's been up there at the center, at the top of the dome ever since. We're going to head out of Providence and head a little farther south, but still stay up here in New England and check out this place here in Stamford, Connecticut. Growing up as a wrestling fan, this is a place I always wanted to see. Titan Towers, WWF, WWE headquarters. It opened up here in 1991. They are in the process of moving to down the road to a much bigger building, and we saw it, and it is cool. It's just a nicer building, I'm sure, but it's just impressive to see this building with all the history, at least for a nerdy wrestling fan. Everything that's happened here, and episodes of Raw started off back in the 90s with some stuff on the rooftop here with some of the wrestlers, and other stuff's gone on through here over the years. And in 2020, during the pandemic, they actually had wrestling matches here. WrestleMania that year had a match that was filmed here, and later another pay-per-view that year had some ladder matches that started in the lobby, and they worked their way up to the roof to the ring that was set up on the rooftop there. So just cool to see Titan Towers. Just a quick stop here before we head into New York City, which is not too far away, less than an hour away depending on traffic from Stamford here. Now, before we finish up today, we're going to head into Queens here in New York City. Check out Flushing Meadows Corona Park. This is the site of actually two World's Fairs, but the main thing we're going to check out here, the Unisphere. It was the symbol of the 1964 World's Fair. I think there was also the 1939 World's Fair was held here too. But the Unisphere was built for the 64 World's Fair. Still here. It's huge. It's a massive, big globe. I think it's 120 feet tall. It's just real cool. It's centered in a big fountain. The water was turned off. It looks like maybe they were doing some work. They're definitely doing some work here on the park. It looks like maybe they're doing some work on the fountain, though nobody was working on it while we were here. But we'll get up here and get a closer look at it, make our way through the park. But there it is. It's just impressive. One of the coolest things to see. Of course, Men in Black, the first Men in Black movie, the ending to that was here. We'll show kind of a little more of what was from that here in just a second too. What was from that movie. Something else this park has in its history is Disney stuff. The original It's a Small World, that ride that was here before Disneyland was a thing, and Carousel of Progress, which is not really a ride but a show attraction kind of thing. That was here before it was moved to Disneyland in California, and then now it's been moved from Disneyland to Disney World in Florida. But that was here originally as well. Here you can see these two towers kind of in the distance. This was as close as we could get due to the work being done. It looked like they're actually working on them. But originally these were towers you could go up into. In the first Men in Black movie, one of these was the UFO that the big bug, the insect guy, he was trying to get back to his planet. But you can tell they're doing some work here. I'm not sure if they're just fixing them up so they don't fall down, or if they're actually going to fix them back up so you can go up into them, which would be real cool. But that's just off, a little ways down from the Unisphere, but couldn't get any closer than this today. You can kind of see them there on the left in this shot behind the Unisphere there. Kind of see a glimpse there of the city skyline in the distance there past this statue. We got our backs now to the Unisphere. We'll turn back around, get a look at it from the distance here in just a second too. A couple people through the years, or several people, have climbed the Unisphere. Of course, you're not supposed to, but some people have. Two people have fallen and died while climbing the Unisphere. One back in the 70s and one in 1990. Nobody since, I don't believe. But it has been climbed since then, even as recent as 2019. Somebody climbed it to do some protest, hang some banner on it, but nothing like that going on today. But just a cool spot to check out. A little movie history, a little Disney history here, New York City history. But we're going to head on out of here and see what else we can get into.